How you doing today, my friends? Mr. Green here, and we're down at the campsite, and I did a few other things, just little things on the bike since the last video. I've added the new lug nuts came in, so I got them all done, and they're all on nice and tight now. The other thing is I extended the shifter knob on the bike because it was a little too low and I kept smashing my knuckles into that, and then I was able to get a better cantilever that way, so I was able to drop it down on the bottom. I did that. I put all these new LED lights here, so they go up and around the back and they light up red, and then on the inside I did LED and I put a little switch up here that I can turn it on and off, and I can change it to 3 different colors with a switch in the panel too. So and then the new exhaust came in, and that's it all hooked up here. Originally the exhaust ran on this side. Because this is such a small exhaust, it actually just worked better for me to run a straight run right back down to the muffler. So that was just a very simple hookup straight in, so that's why I didn't video it. But yeah, I also want to give a little shout out to my nephew, Austin. He's been really following this project and he's right interested in all of this, and I'm going to let him show you what he made for me. So here you go.
I made a little Lego mini go-kart for him, and I worked really hard on this, and I had to follow up on all of his videos and work super hard, which is not the exact same, but I did the best I could.
It looks excellent, buddy. I'm very proud of you. That definitely represents the machine here, and I am very happy with the machine. This is the first day I've got it out, and we're gonna go ride it up on some trails. I'm gonna have my daughter do some videoing for us, and you're gonna see this in action today. So yeah, we'll be back here and we'll go for a little ride. Okay guys, I'm going to do a little start here, and you'll hear how much quieter it is. I do have a tiny bit of an exhaust leak up here I have to address, and I will be doing that shortly, but it does sound a lot quieter than it did before. It's just a little bit quieter, I would say. So, keep going all the way around. Much quieter than it was before, so it does still have a nice sound to it, but yeah, so we're gonna go for a little bit of a ride here, and we'll be back here in a second.
Here he goes. There we go.
Alright, here we go. Yeah, you can lift your feet though, I can't.
Oh, and I can head off the thing. Look, smack that.
I'm worried about how deep this is gonna be though.
Oh my god. Will it wreck anything?
No, it's not gonna wreck
Look
anything.
how deep it is.
I just don't know if it's gonna be deeper than my shoes. Because if I can't raise my foot, I gotta raise one foot up. Guess we're about to find out.
Splash. Oh, can't do anything. No, I don't think
Oh yeah, that's gonna be deeper than my shoes.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I can pick up my shoes. I don't know what's deep. I'm just pointing the camera forward. Oh my god. It won't get your feet wet. Oh, I don't think so. Wait.
Yeah, but I think it's getting deeper.
But it's like almost overflowed. Look at that. Isn't that like so cool? There's a bolt in the foot. Your foot is gonna be so.
It's that big rock.
I just got so. That's why you always wear helmets, kids. I'm a kid too, so same with me.
Okay, my friends, back home now. I broke down just after I shut the camera off, and I ended up taking my nephew for a ride, and halfway through the ride I had the bolt right here. I only tacked it and forgot to weld that night. That was the one bolt I forgot to do, so that broke, and at the same time I lost power. It started sputtering and then it died, and I could not get it going. I tried for an hour on the side of the trail trying to get it going and had no luck. And of course I know how to diagnose something, so right away I checked fuel, had fuel. Then checked spark, had no spark. So I put a new spark plug in it. It wouldn't start, and then I checked all the wires to see if I had, something had melted or something like that. Couldn't come across anything. So I towed it back to my campsite and was about to just push it up on my trailer, tried to start it, and it started. It ran for about 10-15 seconds and then stopped again. And then I checked spark and I had no spark again. So what I'm guessing, it's either one of two things. I've now tested, when I'm turning it over, I tested on the coil wire, and I have no power going to the coil. So I know it's not the coil. So then the next thing I've got to test is the stator and the part that sends the pulse generator that sends the power to the CDI box. So it's either that, it's either the stator, or it's the CDI box. So it's one of the two, but that's where I'm at right now, and the big long weekend is coming up here next weekend, and I really want to get this thing running. So I've got to figure this out as fast as I can, and I'm going to try to get this video up. So if you guys know what this possibly could be, please put something down in the comment section and maybe give me a hand here. And yeah, so the other thing I did do was I added, because the battery's so tiny on here, and now with the light strips I added, I needed more power, especially if this thing dies and I gotta get it going. The battery on this thing lasts about 2 minutes of turning it over, right? Even though it's only not even a year old, that battery. So I added in, this was just a battery I had kicking around. It was out of my old truck. I used my battery charger to to desulfate the batteries, or the plates in there. It has that battery reconditioning on it. So did that, and then ran a charge on it and let it sit for a week, and it didn't drop. It stayed at 12.8 at rest, and 8 days later it was still at 12.8. So I know I put a charge, or used some of the battery down, and then tested it, and it was still within range of what it should be. So I think I got this battery brought right back. So I mounted that in there, ran some 8-gauge cable down to the other battery, because this really isn't pulling that much power to turn this thing over. So that gives me a lot of extra power between the two batteries, and that's going to help later on. And it's easier to boost and stuff right from here. So but anyways, got it going, guys. That's awesome. I'll shut it off so you can hear me talk now. But so after all of that, I look at the dash lights. I have no dash light, like no neutral light when I turned it on, and that didn't make any sense. So what it actually was the battery terminal, which this makes no sense to me. The battery terminal was loose, so it, for some reason, I have no idea why that happened, but it wouldn't start after that. So, and I had no spark, and then I tightened down the battery cables and kind of gave them a wiggle, and now I have spark again. So that's awesome. Now I'm gonna take it for a little rip and just make sure that that is what it is, you know, just around my property, make sure it's not going to die again on me. And yeah, so alright guys, I'm gonna get this video up to you as soon as I can, and then yeah, there's still a bunch more to do. We still got to do the roof, the doors, but I'm so busy with work, but I promise I'll keep the videos coming. So yeah, we'll talk to everybody soon. Please remember to subscribe, and as always, if you click that thumbs up button, it'd be greatly appreciated. Have a great day.